Hi guys, welcome back. We are back with another episode today, and today we're going to be talking about sleep. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. What is sleep?
If you came to our TikTok lives last year, we did a sleep challenge where we went through lots of things that we have tried and were trying at that time to improve our sleep. So today we're going to go over some of the things because we realized like a lot of people don't sleep that well. So hopefully some of the tips that we share today, some of the things that we've tried, some of the things that we would recommend will help you improve your sleep because we know how important sleep is on the healing journey, and it's good to rest sometimes. So yeah, that's what we're going to go through today.
Everyone says like, hey, get sleep, get enough sleep, get your 8 hours in, make sure you're sleeping. But it's like, okay, cool, yes, but how do I actually get to sleep, or how do I stay asleep, and how do I make sleep a thing? Because when it comes to healing our trauma, one of the things that it disrupts is your what? Is your sleep. Your sleep gets disrupted because you're holding on to emotional stress. You've got stress from the day anyway, and all of this stuff is staying in your body. So your body never gets the chance to switch off and relax. Therefore, it affects your sleep. And one thing that you need for healing is actually foundational, is consistent, good, restorative sleep. If you're not getting that at the very start of your healing, then it's just making the job so much harder.
It's going to feel like an uphill battle.
Yeah, if you're constantly waking up tired, fatigued, you've got no energy, you can't concentrate, how you probably know, because these things are probably affecting you in some way, shape, or form, because we're in the boat together, yay, is it's very hard to do the things that you want to do or need to do because you don't feel like it. You haven't got it in you. You just haven't got it in you. So last year, yeah, we took a deep dive into our sleep, and we really started researching, on the nervous system regulation side of things, how sleep affects it, how healing is affected by sleep, but then also what we can do about it. And we're going to go through a few things, so stick around for what we've brought into our lives, something that have worked, haven't worked, some things we're carrying on because they're just amazing. I think for myself, something that I actually do now is I read in bed. So if you're an avid reader, or even if you're not a reader, because hey, guilty, I was not an avid reader of this kind. I never ever read storybooks. Non-fiction?
Non-fiction.
Fiction books. I never read fiction books. I always had to, I guess, read self-help or business or whatever it is I'm interested in. I've got to learn, basically, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I love that side of me. But my lovely partner in creation over here suggested that, hey, why don't you just read a book for fun? Why don't you just read like something that you enjoy? Why don't you just read a book, And I was just like, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. Why would I want to do that? If I'm going to read, then I'm going to read to, learn stuff and improve myself.
Because we've got to be efficient every minute of every day.
Yeah, this is the productivity Paris, stuck on the hamster, always trying to do more. So this was something I really embraced last year, and I can honestly say that it changed my life. The book that I started reading was
Game of Thrones.
It was, because obsessed by the ending. If you've seen it, no spoilers. But yeah, so I picked up this book and I started reading it, and I fell in love with it instantly, and it just it's now a part of my life. I'm on the second book now. Obviously the books are massive, so it takes me a while, but I just read it until I feel tired, because sometimes I don't. But after 10, 15, 20 pages, I close my eyes as soon as that book's closed. Like, there's no struggle whatsoever. So if you're someone that struggles to get to sleep, then I would highly recommend you start reading in bed, because it's just signaling, if anything, to your body that, hey, it's time to start unwinding. And of course, when you're reading as well, you're not thinking of anything. You can't think of anything else. You have to concentrate on the words in the story, the book that you're reading. So it clears your mind in the process. It's so great. I'm gonna pass the mic over, because I will just carry on going about this forever, because it's changed my life.
Yeah, so I would say the thing that I've been doing is using red light therapy before I go to bed. I used to actually do it in the morning whilst I was journaling, but I read online actually that you can also do it in the evening. So I started doing it in the evening, and essentially what red light therapy does is it regulates your circadian rhythm. Now, if you don't know, we've mentioned it a couple of times before, but your circadian rhythm is essentially your body clock. So yeah, doing that has actually really helped me as well. It's obviously, I'm going to bed at the right time now as well. So if you listened to the previous episode, one of the things that we're leaving in 2024 is not a bedtime. So I have a bedtime now, which is also something we'll come on to. But yeah, so I've been doing red light therapy, and I also stack it with reading. So it's kind of like a funny sight if you see our bedroom, because Paris is normally reading in bed with his legs against the wall, and I'm like on the other side of the room reading a book with red light therapy. So yeah, I would say that is something that I've been doing. Obviously, a red light therapy device, they can be a bit pricey depending on where you get it from. But if you're not able to get those, something else that we do is use red light bulbs in the living room, for example. So in the evening, we don't have like bright lights.
Yeah.
So that can also have like a calming effect on you. I don't know what it is about red light. It just makes
And
you feel, ooh.
yeah, well, I'll tell you what it is, because here's an inexpensive way that you can use red light therapy, and that is to just put candles throughout your yard.
Yes.
So if you don't want to get a red light therapy machine, or you don't want to put red lights bulbs in your bulbs, get candles. When the sun sets, when it's time to start unwinding, put your candles on, turn off every light, get rid of the screens and the devices, and let that be your light, because that is red light therapy in itself. If you ever sat in front of an open flame or open fire, you know, you've got what they called, like stoves, not stoves, fireplaces.
Fire pit.
There we go. Fireplaces.
Oh, fireplace.
Or wood burners.
I'm thinking outdoor fire pit.
Yeah, no. You become very relaxed, and it's because of the red light that's being emitted from the flames. Of course, you've got the heat element of it as well, and maybe the sound and the crackling and all this stuff. But yeah, candles. Hashtag more candles.
A good way to remember is we always call it romantic lighting.
Yeah.
So just put romantic lighting all over your house. Don't use any bright lights, and you'll be feeling nice and relaxed. You'll probably turn your house into a spa by doing that. Light a bit of incense.
Mhm.
Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, because we don't understand how important lighting is, but when you start actually paying attention to it, you'll start seeing the difference straight away, because it all comes down to a rhythm of yours, the circadian one. If you've got bright lights in your yard, but it's nighttime, let's say it's 10 p.m., you've got the TV on, you've still got your main light on, you've got your phone in your hand, all of this is signifying to your body that it's daylight, because the blue light that's coming out of it. So if it's daylight, your body's thinking, we're probably going to eat soon. We might exercise soon. Maybe we're going to walk around and do some activities and some stuff. It's not thinking, hey, let me get ready for bed and start unwinding. These things don't happen. So it's like we're wanting to go to bed, but our environment that we're in isn't set up or conducive of bed. So when it comes to getting good sleep or having good sleep hygiene, your environment is like literally the first thing to look at, because if it's not supportive, then you're just making the job a lot harder for yourself. Switch off everything, turn off the lights, chill out.
So far we've got read before bed.
Yes.
We've got red light therapy. We've got romantic lighting.
Mhm.
We've got don't go on your devices because it disrupts your circadian rhythm.
You're going to hear us say that one for every single topic that we ever speak about. Don't go on your device. Don't use the device.
It is honestly, and I think this is the thing. Like, we were so surprised with how many people would like message us or comment or would come on our lives and say, "Actually, my sleep is actually awful as well. I don't sleep through the night, or it's disrupted." And actually, if you ask a lot of these people, well, how often are you on your phone right up until you go to sleep? And the answer often is, "Oh, well, actually, pretty much right up
I put
until
my head down.
I take my phone into my bedroom," which leads me on to another thing. Don't take your phone into your bedroom. Leave your phone in your living room. If you have an alarm or like another room, don't have it like next to your bed. If you need to have it in your bedroom for an alarm, have it on like the other side of the room or something, because again, you're going to feel tempted to use your phone, pick it up. You'll see a notification. The little flashes are they're like addictive, you know? So yeah, that's something else that I would recommend.
I used to be so bad for that. When I was a lot younger than I am now, back in my teenage years, I used to sleep with my phone under my pillow.
So did I.
And I remember maybe for like a month or so, I had like chronic headaches, like really bad. Like if I moved my head, it was in pain. And then as soon as I moved my phone away from my pillow, because I think my mum told me like, hey, it might be your phone, it went.
Oh my God.
So I don't even want to start picturing the damage that I was doing to my brain. But I used to sleep with literally my phone under my pillow.
I mean, I did that well into my 20s. I can't lie.
And this is before Facebook and stuff like that. This is when I think my phone just had MP3 songs on it and maybe Snake and stuff.
Oh my God.
So like, I don't know why I even had my phone, just in case someone text messaged me
at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, honestly, it was
being like, hey, can you come on MSN?
Yeah, it wasn't a vibe. Thankfully though, I grew out of that, and my body let me know that, hey, something's wrong, and I was able to figure out what that something wrong was. It was the phone. So just get rid of the phone in the bedroom. Just no devices in the bedroom, honestly. No TVs, no phones, no computers, no nothing with a screen. That's the best antidote for any of it.
Funnily enough, I remember listening, because on our research of how can we improve our sleep, I listened to like a TED talk, I think it was, on how to improve your sleep. And one of the things the guy said on there, he said the bedroom is only for two things. It's for sleepy time and sexy time. And if you're not doing those two things, like for example, if you're awake and your brain's going wild and you're thinking loads of things, you shouldn't really stay in bed. You should actually get up and go to another room and come back when you feel ready to go to sleep, because you need to train your brain into thinking actually your bedroom is for sleeping and, you know,
Hmm.
for sexy time. So yeah, that's also something that I heard on a TED talk, and I was like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. So if you're bringing your device into your bedroom, then obviously you're bringing work, you're bringing outside, you're bringing other things into the room, and then that doesn't really become the bedroom anymore.
Yeah.
Something that I've read online a lot is actually how, and actually heard people talk about on podcasts, is actually how devices create disruption in relationships because they're in the bedroom so often. So it creates disconnection between
Well, I can't
couples.
imagine that.
You know, imagine people just sat there with a laptop and someone else is on their phone. That's wild. And I totally get it, because, you know, in a time where, you know, you could be snuggling or, you know, whatever else, you're creating disconnection by deciding, hey, I'm going to stay up and work, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to go on my phone and look at social media or whatever.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Even if you're not with someone, though, it's still the same disconnection being created because you're laying in bed, disrupting your body, doesn't know it's time to sleep, and you're just doing stuff that actually isn't helpful. You're just like, and imagine bombarding your brain with loads of information just before it's about to switch off.
Mm.
Your brain isn't thinking, oh, it's time to go to bed. It's thinking, hey, like, we're still working here. And that's probably one of the reasons why you're struggling to stay asleep. It all becomes a vicious cycle in itself. And it's things that there is a cure for. It's a process. I think something that Pels mentioned is something that I do in bed sometimes when I'm reading is I do the legs up of the wall. So that looks like just putting your
A
legs up
90
against the
degree
wall.
angle against the wall.
Yeah, that's how to explain it. Thank you. And this really helps to regulate the body. Of course, there's some lymphatic drainage going on as well, so it's helping you to relax and calm and get rid of those toxins. All of this stuff is preparing your body for bed. We do have in our program, there's loads of exercises in our Let That Shit Go program that takes you through processes and exercises that actually can help with sleep. But we can find some exercises on our TikTok, and also just things like stretching can help before bed. It's just about releasing tension from the body, because you imagine getting into bed and you're all tight and tense. The body again isn't ready to relax. It's still on like, hey, we got stuff to do. We got to move. We got to, not good. You need to start signaling to the body like, hey, it's time to start getting ready for bed. Hey, it's time to get into bed. And hey, it's time to start sleeping.
Yeah, and obviously we've spoken about circadian rhythm quite a lot, and I know for some people, like for example, for me, I'm actually quite good at falling asleep, but something that happens to me quite a lot is I'll wake up in the middle of the night. Now, this is like an ongoing thing that I've been working on, which is kind of the reason we got onto the whole sleep quest.
Mm-hmm.
What we know now is obviously my cortisol is spiking, and I think this happens with a lot of people. And you kind of wake up around between like 2, 3 o'clock, or between like 3 and 5 sometimes for some people, depending on like when your cortisol spiking. But that's generally the time that a lot of people wake up. Now, if that's happening to you, you're thinking, okay, yeah, I have no problem falling asleep, but how do I stay asleep? Things that we've tried and I would recommend is regulating your nervous system, getting your circadian rhythm in check, because those are the two things that your body clock is going to need to know, hey, when is it time to go to sleep and when is it time to wake up? So something that I've done recently to help this, we mentioned this again in the previous podcast, was
Yeah.
actually having a bedtime.
Yeah.
Because before I would have this thing where I would say like, but I can't go to bed before 12 o'clock because the day's not done.
Mm-hmm.
So I would stay up ridiculously late for absolutely no reason. It didn't matter how tired I was, I would just stay up. And, you know, you can even argue that's revenge procrastination, because my day was so busy that I felt like I need to take back control by staying awake till 12 o'clock. Be like, oh, well, I got 2 hours to myself, or whatever nonsense. But, but essentially having a bedtime is, again, training your body to know when to go to sleep. And I was against this for so long. I rejected it. Paris suggested this to me 1 million times. And I was like, I'm not having a bedtime. I'm 8 years old. Like, I'm not doing it.
It was
But
a struggle.
it really was. But eventually I did. I came around to the idea of it. And honestly, it's one of the best things I have ever done, because my sleep is so much better now. I get tired at the right time as well. And I am sleeping better throughout the night as well. And obviously, when your cortisol is spiking and you're trying to regulate your nervous system, it is a process. It does take time. So yeah, if you are struggling, this is something that you can try as well, because I think it will help.
Yeah, definitely. But it is a process, you know. I think the first thing to do is make sure your environment is supportive of sleeping. Once you've got all that sorted out and you're still not sleeping right, then it start, you know, start looking at your lifestyle. Am I stressed? How long do I feel stressed for? And not just that, but also what am I doing to manage my stress? Am I allowing myself downtime to release it? Am I doing the somatic movement, the breath work, the meditation, the creative expression, the spending time with loved ones, all these things aren't just things that are fun or healing in the sense, but they're also going to help your body to release that shit that it doesn't need. And if it cannot release the shit that it doesn't need, then it's going to look like waking up at the 3 a.m.s. It's going to look like not having, the fullest sleep, or it's going to look like having 8 hours sleep, but still waking up tired for some
Yeah.
reason. And then wondering, hey, why is this? Because I've just slept a whole night. And this is where we have to start going inwards and thinking like, okay, I've done the mechanical stuff for sleep, but now I've got to go to the emotional side, and I've got to start working with the trauma. I've got to start releasing the stress, and I've got to start managing this stuff, because it is a process. It does get very frustrating when you're trying to do it all and you're not sleeping, and all you want to do is have a good night's sleep. It's disheartening. We speak to people in our community all the time that are in this boat, and we just tell them, you will get better, but also don't beat yourself up for it, because something we always say about how long it took the condition to.
Yeah, you got to think about how long it took you to get to where you are in terms of like, the things that you experience, or, the trauma that you experience. So it's going to take just as long, if not longer, for you to heal that and come back from it. It doesn't happen overnight. The stuff that we go through sometimes happens over years. It happens over a long period of time. So to expect that you're going to heal or that you're going to fix this thing overnight, that's not realistic. And I think it's important to give yourself grace and remember, actually, yeah, it is a process. It does take time. It took me a long time to get to a point where this is the problem. So it's going to take a while for me to get back to the point where I can sleep throughout the night, and I am sleeping well. And it's just important to remember as well that, like, whilst you might not see 1,000,000% improvement overnight, that you will start to slowly, as you start paying attention to it and you start being consistent with it, you will start to see small signs of, hey, actually, that is improving a little bit. Hey, I can go back. Like, something that I would experience quite a lot, for example, is I would wake up in the night, I'd have a racing heart, I would then have to get up and be like, I'd feel anxious, I'd go to the toilet because I think, oh, maybe I'm just awake because I need to pee. And then I would struggle to fall back to sleep. And then before I know it, I've lost like an hour or 2 hours of the night, and I'm having to get up in a couple of hours. But something that I'm realizing now through doing these exercises, I still wake up in the night from time to time. But the thing that I'm noticing is my heart's not racing as much, and I can fall back to sleep a lot quicker. So that's a win for me. Okay, yeah, it's not amazing, but it's still a lot better than it was before. And you have to give yourself grace in those periods and be like, hey, actually, a win is a win. It is getting better, and over time it will get even more better. More better?
It'll get more better.
It'll go more better. It'll get better.
We're not English teachers.
Let me say that again. So yeah, over time, it will get better, and it's just a process, and it's important to remember that.
Yeah, and keep at it. And if you do have any questions about sleep or anything else that you can improve or use or do, then send us a message. We would love to help you guys have the best sleep of your life. We're going to put, what's that mattress company? Silent Night out of business, because you don't need a new mattress or pillow. Maybe you do, to be fair. Check that out too. Make sure your bed is comfortable, please.
Something else, yes. Check your mattress, but also other things that we have noticed is check how warm or cold your room is. Something that they do, I don't know where it is. I think it's in Denmark or something. Remember we saw it on a video where what they do is they open the bedroom windows at night to let all the cold air in, and they let the room get cold, but they make sure that the bed is warm so that you're breathing in cold air when you're sleeping, and it's apparently supposed to help you sleep. So we've actually tried this. It does work pretty well. So it's important to make sure that your bedroom is the correct temperature so that you're not waking up, because I think when you get warmer, when your body gets warmer, it signals to your body to it's time to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, check that the temperature's correct. Other things that we would recommend: sleep masks.
Yes. Sleep mask. Mouth tape as well.
Mouth tape.
Which can feel a bit weird at the beginning, but just embrace it. Don't go and buy the expensive mouth tape that is specifically designed for your mouth. Google kinesiology tape. You got a whole roll of it for like a couple of quid. It will last you forever. Get that instead. And earplugs as well. If you have disturbances, you maybe sleep with a partner, or there's traffic, or there's noises from whatever, do that, because you want to protect your sleep. Dark, deaf, dumb, hungry, cold, something like that. Remember those. Those are the things.
and just in relation to the mouth tape, if you are someone that feels like, oh, I don't need to wear mouth tape, I'm not a mouth breather, I don't want to wear mouth tape because it's going to feel weird. I thought the same things. I thought, actually, I sleep with my mouth closed. I don't need to wear mouth tape. And also, it's going to be a weird thing to like close your mouth. The like thought of it was just like, oh, that's a bit odd. I don't know if I want to do that. But actually, I tried it, and it has actually improved my sleep quite a lot. I would say the quality of my sleep is a lot better. And the other thing that I've seen other people talk about is if you have like under eye bags and you don't use mouth tape, try mouth tape, because mouth tape apparently helps with that. And a lot of people have found benefit in like their under eyes disappearing, the like bags that they have from using mouth tape because of the breathing or something. So yeah, try that as well, because that is also a little hack that I read online. So yeah, let us know if that works for you, because quite a few people have been sharing their stories and saying, hey, yeah, this helped me in this way.
Aesthetic tips too at the Art of Healing. That's what we do here. We got you. We got you. Whatever you need, we got you. We have it all.
And then just one more thing that Paris touched on was he said hungry out of the 5 things. So a recommendation that we would say, and also a lot of people would recommend, is do not eat like 3 hours before you're going to sleep. So make sure your last meal is at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep. So then your body has time to properly digest it, and then it can focus on actually recovering your body when you're actually sleeping and not spending energy digesting food.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. Let's say half an hour before bed, you just had dinner, right? So you get into bed. Your body uses up, by the way, the most energy it ever uses burning food. So not only has it got to do this, it now has to go to sleep to restore. So which is it going to do? Well, it's going to digest the food. So you're not going to restore, are you? So 3 hours before bed if you can. 2 hours before bed, don't drink anything. And 1 hour before bed, get off your devices. 3, 2, 1. Simples.
Simples.
And with that, we wish you a good sleep. Do we?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, try these tricks, tips, hacks. Let us know what you found, how they were for you. And we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for listening, guys.